Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. Americans are about to lose the ability to judge the U.S. economy thanks to this.
The administration is tapping a MAGA loyalist for the top job at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. You see him there, Antoni, Project 2025 contributor, an economist at the pro-Trump Heritage Foundation.
A brilliant economist, says the Trump White House.
These monthly reports will be data that the American people can trust.
But credible economists are calling Antoni a disaster. They point to his lack of experience and long record of articles and posts that are filled with errors. Jared Bernstein quoted several conservative economists.
From the Libertarian Cato Institute said Antoni is either massively misunderstands labor market data, or he's willing to lie repeatedly about it. Someone from the American Enterprise Institute, also center-right, utterly unqualified and as partisan as it gets.
E.J. Antoni is 37 years old. As the New York Times reports, Dr. Antoni has a doctorate in economics from Northern Illinois University and has spent virtually his entire career at conservative think tanks, most recently the Heritage Foundation, where he serves as chief economist. His work there has mostly been on fiscal issues such as taxes and Social Security, not on the labor and macroeconomic topics that are the Bureau of Labor Statistics agency's focus.
This is a job that has never been filled by ideologues. It's always been filled by number-crunching nerds who understand all the wizardry of statistics, the complications, and how we can make data speak in a way that they tell the truth most clearly.
But a few weeks ago, Donald Trump was so angry about the truth from the Bureau of Labor Statistics that Trump fired the commissioner. Trump got the idea from Steve Bannon's podcast and guest, E.J. Antoni.
Have we put in our own person into BLS? Is a MAGA Republican that President Trump knows and trusts? Are they running the Bureau of Labor Statistics yet, sir?
No, unfortunately, Steve, we still haven't gotten there. And I think that's part of the reason why we continue to have all of these different data problems.
We, MAGA world, have economic data problems, not because of Trump policy, but because the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics is nonpartisan and sticks to the facts. Trump reportedly saw that segment, fired the previous BLS commissioner, and decided to hire Antoni in part because he had already proven his fealty to Donald Trump on camera.
This is a job that's always been occupied by a wonk because you want to eliminate any suspicion that the data is not worthwhile. And so the moment you allow the possibility of doubt, you've all of a sudden taken the hundreds of millions of dollars we, the taxpayers, have invested in these data, and you've made them a whole lot less valuable. It means that the folks at the Fed are driving blind. It means that businesses don't actually know which parts of the country are booming and which are in recession. It means job seekers don't know what occupations to join, and on and on and on it goes.
That fog, that murkiness helps the Trump team spew its propaganda. If MAGA world doesn't trust institutions, well, then Trump has an easier time convincing his voters to trust and believe in him. And Trump has repeatedly and confidently made claims about the U.S. economy that are simply false.
Prices are coming down, not going up. Only the fake news says they're going up. The only thing that's even are interest rates.
Interest rates are even, but even the government's own statistics show prices are going up. But not according to Stephen Miller.
Not only did the tariffs not create inflation, inflation is back down. Inflation has been defeated. So our economy is soaring, jobs are being created, American workers are going back to work, the labor force is growing again, inflation is gone, and our manufacturing jobs are coming back to the United States where they belong.
Again, government statistics show that manufacturing under Trump is down and inflation is going back up. Here's a report on CNBC.
And here's what I was looking at, 3.1% on the year-over-year core. Definitely hotter than expected. It's hotter than the rearview mirror at 2.9. 3.1 would equal February. The high reading of the year was 3.3 in January, and that was the highest since May of last year.
And whether you are talking about the core inflation rate or employment data, the government statistics guide policy decisions and help shape business strategies.
So these are data that are used for all sorts of things. Businesses use them to figure out where should I open my next branch. They use it to figure out whether they should be hiring or whether they should be contracting. The Federal Reserve uses it to decide whether to raise interest rates or lower them. Banks use it to decide whether to expand lending or whether it wouldn't be safe to do so. You and I might use it to figure out which occupations we should be directing our kids to be going into and so on. These are data that have already been collected. And all we need is to be told the truth in order to make the best possible decisions for our families, our businesses, and our government.
But now Donald Trump wants the economic statistics in the hands of a sycophant, a Trump toady.
Let's try an analogy here. Say you wanted to figure out what the president's weight was. We could get a scale, and we could put him on the scale, and that would tell us in pounds. That'd be pretty good. And if it was a doctor, an honest doctor who read the scale, you'd know exactly what the president weighed. Now, here's the problem. What if I told you that Carolyn Levitt, the White House press secretary who has a tortured relationship with truth, was the one reading the scale? All of a sudden, I reckon that president's going to be about 100 pounds lighter.
In other words, the U.S. government's economic data is going to lose credibility. If the new Bureau of Labor Statistics data shows positive jobs numbers, analysts around the globe may question if it's true. And if the jobs numbers are bad, analysts and policymakers will wonder if the numbers are actually even worse. That is the Trump effect. Thankfully, the commissioner for the Bureau of Labor Statistics requires Senate confirmation. So E.J. Antoni will have to go in front of the Senate and prove that he is not the partisan clown that his record suggests. Of course, relying on the Republican Senate to stop Donald Trump on anything can be a risk. But in this instance, the stakes are enormous. The credibility of U.S. government data is on the line. And we are either a society that believes in cold, hard numbers and economic truths, or we will go the route of Argentina, Greece, and other countries that cooked the books and saw their economies collapse and their governments default. That is the choice under Trump, the truth or his house of cards. And remember, the Trump cons eventually collapse. By the way, Donald Trump's migrant criminal deportation effort continues to go haywire. Most people arrested have no record of violent crime, and ICE agents continue to assault and arrest Americans.
Get off her head! Get off me! Get off your knee! Get off her! Get it off! Get back! Get off her head!
In Los Angeles, that is Amanda Trebach, a nurse and U.S. citizen who was observing ICE agents near their staging area.
Get off me! This is public property, sir!
ICE, says Trebach, threatened agents with a protest sign.
This is ICE beating her up. They got her knee on her head. I am where I need to be, 10 feet, so...
You guys get her in the van?
Sir, you okay?
Yeah, my keys are in there.
Okay.
Get back.
And you got 10
10 feet away from us.
It is 10 feet. You a brown man. You should be ashamed of your mother self.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Marcia, who wrote, ICE felt threatened by a sign? What a bunch of snowflakes. Indeed. I look forward to reading your comments about Donald Trump's partisan economic pick getting exposed by basic facts and reality. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.